Hello. So let's continue on with the process here. I just wanted to show you the sketch I initially did here for the witch hunter character. You can see I did a lot of drawing here. I tend to like try to do a quick sketch and then just refine as I go. So this is what we're seeing here is the end result. But if I just hide everything here, and let's see if we can find the first. There's a face there. So like I usually start off with like something like this, just loose, just trying to find some shapes, and then afterwards I try to like get some structure to it, which ended up looking like this, and then I refined on top of that. And this is like very first pass. This is something I used to make a mistake is early on in designing I would quickly do a first pass and color it. But since then, I've used this as a means of like just kind of finalizing things out, and so I use this as a reference now. So this is the first pass reference, and other stuff. This one here is just trying to explore more body shapes or just shape language, because I usually like trying to find crazy shapes. This is the second one, just me exploring it. I kind of wanted to have like more of that elongated head, but and just try and play more of the shapes. So I tend to draw larger hands too. This is me just trying, again, more variety of shapes, making it a bit more graphic. Super rough sketches. And eventually I kind of settled on this kind of quick sketch here. So once I had this done, I ended up doing this bit here where he's like kind of looking at the sword here. I altered the helmet slightly, and from here, looking at that for reference for color, the final one here, I think, yeah, I've moved the sword a bit down because I was not really liking the way he was holding it here, though I kind of like this guy's face more. There's more direction to this than the final output. It's kind of like tucked in more, while I jutted his chin out on this one. Again, I kind of like saving all my sketches here just so I can refer back, and maybe some other drawing I might grab something from here. Like, yeah, I really actually like the way this is stronger shape here. But I end up using this guy and him out to be like this. And from this, I generated a couple of passes. And now, like a handy trick I ended up doing with these colors. Here it is. Is this a little bit, if you notice. Yeah, there's a color to it, because I find like if we just shade something out, it kind of falls a little flat. So let's say, for example, I'll just make this all dark like this. And then if I just bring this up slightly, you can see there's like a loss of color. It becomes too monotone. But with this one, you can see it's like variety and color variation. And what I end up doing is just creating this silhouette or colored shape, and then I'll go to my color layer, copy this. Let's do this again here. Paste it out and switch this to a multiply. So now we have a lot more saturated colors everywhere. And if we kind of hue shift this around, you can see that it's still subtle, but you can get some really nice color variation within the shadows itself. You know, if we bump up the saturation here, you can really see the effect dramatically. And we can like darken it or make it a bit lighter. But I find this just makes the drawing itself pop a little bit more. So ended up with this guy. I exported him out as a transparency, and I brought him into Blender here. And then I composited him in Blender. I added a bunch of shaders here and generated some maps here and there, and I did some fun wizardry, node wizardry here. It'll be too much to cover in this video here because there's a bit of understanding you have to know beforehand. But I've created, like, say, a rim light which you can have fun with and adjust to different color and variation, because I find in my own design sensibilities, trying to light a character and have it in a variety of situations for somebody to critique or for you to present options can take a little too long. I found out. So I was trying to find ways to speed up the process. I'm all about iteration and speed rather than rendering. It's just always been something I've been fascinated with. I know there's some people who are great at rendering out, but I find like I tend to get bored, or like I feel like it's stagnating a little bit, and I want to generate more ideas, or I'm losing the time to generate more stuff. So I like the technique I've created here for myself is just to speed that up, where I'm like, all right, let's see this guy in a variety of lighting situations. I can react to light like this. I can change the lighting scenario, move it around. That's kind of neat. I can move this point light here, shift him around, and just like explore, have fun with the variety of lighting situations. And it gives me options as an artist, and having the variety of tools and know-how is important so that you can like fully realize your concepts or ideas. It's really fun doing this kind of stuff here. Oh, let's zoom in. Right. Bit lighter. I kind of like contrast colors. One thing I like to do is like, you can see it's just like a flat image. And fogs in the background, which I can also change the color of. How thick the fog is. This gives options. Using your strengths, basically. I use a variety of tools because I'm very strong in each of them, or sometimes the speed I want something done, I'll use one tool to generate that. So the environment itself here is a Sketchfab model, photogrammetry, and I just kind of needed a background of some sort, just visual noise to fit this character in. And so I popped him in here, and yeah, really fun. And you can see around, we can duplicate him. Can start like moving around the scene. Can have some nice depth of field here. If I added more characters, I can create like a nice scene and light them all up in the same or in a similar manner. You can probably see off in the distance here some skeleton boys. I was trying to think of a short where these guys are kind of like shambling forward, but that didn't really work out too well, or the way I hoped it would work out. Built some like shaders on this guy. I found though, like the integration, what I mean by integration is like how the 2D and 3D are interacting was a little weird, because my guy is really stylized and these guys are not. So I might have like play around with the scale and do some like light sculpting, but I do like the way they move. I ended up doing stepped interpolation, so they are like cutting in between cutting frames every so often, and to avoid some sliding I put some elements in front, because wasn't really trained in animation, so my guys slide all the time. So I'll just hide those elements here and there, which, you know, ends up working, I think, a little bit. And, you know, we can have some composition guides here as well. Oh yeah, composition guides, super handy in photography. You know, everyone talks about the rule of thirds, pi rules. You can enable that if in the camera setting. Composition guides can enable all this and use whatever you need. I kind of stick with thirds. Draw the eye here. Yeah. So that's about it for the Blender stuff. Thank you.